There was nothing cute about the first time Carrie Fuller met Jesse Strong. He broke her glasses. She bloodied his nose. And they both ended up in a tangle of yarn on the floor in the loft space of Strong Knits, being scolded by Mama Joy. What she wouldn't give to be scolded by the older woman just one more time, Carrie thought as she adjusted her dark frame glasses and purposefully pushed aside the almost long-forgotten childhood memory. She glanced over at the front window of Strong Knits, the Harlem yarn shop that had been so much a part of her life growing up. Any other day, Carrie would have loved walking through the doors of Strong Knits. It had been that way since she had first stepped foot in the little knitting shop where she worked part-time for the better part of the last 10 years, and pretty much just hung out for most of her childhood years before that, making it her unlikely sanctuary. A place of calm in the midst of the chaos that was the concrete jungle of Upper Manhattan. But this day was anything but normal. Despite the summer sun, warm and glinting off the freshly clean windows, showcasing the vintage baskets overflowing with color from the brand new yarns that Mama Joy had gotten in barely 2 weeks before, Carrie still felt a chill run through her body that sent goose pimples rippling across her bare forearms. Even the cute little display to the right of the baskets with fake ice cream cones made of balls of finely spun cotton in creamy sherbet colors couldn't bring a smile to her lips, when they'd brought her nothing but delight just a little over a week before. But smiling now, and the memory of Mama Joy and those cones, caused Carrie's heart to ache way too much. When she and Mama Joy had put the display together, it was with much happiness and no idea of the sorrow to come. No, all they could think of then was the smiles of the passers-by when they saw the new yarns displayed in the whimsical, not quite ice cream cones. Mama Joy knew the children in the neighborhood would love it. And she was right. They did. Folks came in and immediately asked for those yarns. Little faces glowed when they saw the display, and brown eyes lit with delight upon seeing the colorful cones. But like the dynamo she was, Mama Joy had already been anticipating the next display, looking forward to what they would be doing for the fall. She had been excited about showcasing something even better for the neighborhood kids come the end of August with the new shipments on the way. Carrie felt a weight suddenly lay heavy on her chest. What would happen to those yarns now? What would they do now that Mama Joy was no longer here to help navigate the changes that the new season would bring? Carrie peered through the glass of the door once more, noticing the darkness in the shop, uncharacteristic for the hour of the day. If this had been a normal day, the lights would already be on in the back of the shop, and right around this time, Mama Joy would be stepping forward to unlock the door and wave her in. Carrie let out a sigh, as the fact that she'd never be greeted by that wave, or Mama Joy's easy smile, ever again took the air clear out of her lungs. Oh well, she couldn't just stand here wallowing in her feelings. Instead, Carrie swallowed and physically forced them down as she reached out and gave the buzzer on the side of the door 3 short rings. She waited. 1 breath, and then another. 2 more rings. Longer and steadier this time. She moved to the side and rang the bell to chime up at the residents upstairs. Come on, Jessie, where are you? Noah? Lucas? She knew Damien would probably not be there, but she thought that maybe Noah and Lucas would have stayed over since they were all supposed to meet up here later anyway. Disappointment blanketed her shoulders for a moment at the silent response to her ring. Why weren't the brothers together? Especially at a time like this. Sure, Lucas could have stayed over at the firehouse where he was stationed and lived most of the time, and maybe Noah went back to the place he was subletting with the other tour dancers. And knowing Damien, he didn't want anything to mess up his usual well-ordered routine, so he'd probably gone back to his own apartment. But still, she expected Jessie to be there. Carrie felt her brows draw together. Who was she fooling? When it came to Jesse Strong, who knew what rock he was burrowed under this morning? The thought brought with it a sizzle of anger that shot quickly through Carrie's spine, followed immediately by an intense feeling of guilt. She could at least cut Jessie some slack, today of all days. Yes, her thinking was perfectly logical, but it was uncharitable and uncalled for nonetheless, especially since Jessie was hurting just as much as she was. Hell, probably even more so. with it being the day after Mama Joy's funeral.